Inhale and hold and exhale. Hold your breath. Inhale again. Hold and exhale. Just be aware of the heart center, the center of your chest. Just be aware while you're breathing, while you're watching your breath, be aware of the heart center. I said, just keep on being aware of your breath with a hold in between the inhalation and the exhalation. And then I want you to inhale from your heart. Hold your breath. In the exhalation, I want you to bring up the energy from your heart to your crown, the top of your head, the crown center. Now be aware of your crown center while you be aware of your breath as well. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Hold. Keep on doing that with the awareness of your crown center. And from your crown, I want you to inhale, bring the energy up. That's what we call, in Pranic Healing, what we call a spiritual cord. We're all connected to spirit, to higher forces. Some people can just say God, universal God. So connect to your own God. God is only one God with many emanations, many different messiahs or messengers. Connect to God. Whoever you pray to, connect. Now that we're connected, we can now talk to God, what we call invoke. The divine God, Father God, Mother God. I would invoke for my spiritual teacher, Master Chopak Sui, the spiritual teacher, and all the great spiritual teachers, helpers, and all the holy masters, holy gurus, holy saints, to all the archangels, and to all the holy angels, especially to the angels of our mind, to the angels of our body, to the angels of our spirit, and to all the invisible helpers, to all the great ones. We as a group humbly invoke for your divine presence on this 1.5 hours of World Mental Health Day. For your divine presence and for your divine loving blessings. Kindly bless everyone here connected to this session with divine light, divine love, divine peace, divine joy, with divine protection for all, not only for them, but also for their families, for their loved ones, and for their homes. Thank you for keeping everyone safe and everyone happy. Thank you for your divine guidance at all times. Thank you for always watching over us and keeping us safe and sound and protected, feeling so protected. Thank you for healing our bodies, especially for those who have some pain in the body or some diagnoses that are not happy, that are a little bit scary. Say kindly, we invoke for divine intervention and we invoke for good health and long life. Thank you for blessing our lives. Thank you for blessing our families. And thank you for blessing our countries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In full faith, we thank you. Inhale some more. Absorb all the positive energies that we had asked for. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, open your eyes. And let's now begin. Dr.
Thank
Gowri.
you. Thank you, Master Marilag. That was so lovely. so much peace already just by doing that. What a fantastic way to start. So, Master Marilag, we have here today gathered the people, speakers from around the different parts of the world. So this shows this is obviously a global need or ask of the hour for everyone to have really good, happy, solid, unshaken mental health. And the speakers are going to share how Arhatic Yoga has helped them achieve this. Could you help us enlighten us? What is Arhatic Yoga? And is there any prerequisites to learn Arhatic Yoga?
Arhatic Yoga. So Arhatic Yoga is founded by our teacher, Grandmaster Chokup Sui, and it is a spiritual practice that combines elements of various yogas to accelerate personal growth, spiritual evolution, and self-realization. It's a holistic approach that aims to balance and harmonize the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of an individual. So it's a daily practice, it's a way of life. Pranic Healing is a spiritual arm, and Arhatic Yoga is our spiritual arm. We don't just take care of our body, we also have to take care of our spirit or the invisible part that's occupying this body. We have to allow our soul, which we call the soul, to grow, to evolve. And Arhatic Yoga, for me, is the fastest way to reach the top of evolution. It's like I call it the spaceship to spirituality. It's the fastest way. How I can tell you? Because I've been to different groups before meeting Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. I've done a lot of work for 25 years before meeting Pranic Healing. My teacher in Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga already has big energy centers, what we call chakras. After 5 years only of practicing Arhatic Yoga, whereas me and Glenn, my husband, 25 years of spiritual practice, different techniques, and our chakras are still babies. But then when we reach Arhatic Yoga, our babies grew up. When energy centers, the bigger your energy centers are, the more you are higher on the spiritual ladder of evolution. The goal of the soul is to evolve, and that's what we're doing here. Arhatic Yoga is the best way to evolve quickly, rapidly, and safely. It's powerful but safe. That's why we love Arhatic Yoga. Okay.
Thank you, Master Riley. That's a perfect summary. Yes. So let us begin with the lineup of speakers. So it looks like I'm first up, Master Riley. So I'll introduce myself again. I'm Dr. Gowri Subramanian from the UK. I'm a medical doctor in integrative medicine. So I combine traditional allopathic medicine with the energy side. And today my topic is on the physician's path of compassion in the field of reproductive medicine. I'll be sharing the impact of my work on my mental health, the good, the bad, the unspoken truths, my silent wishes and cravings, and how I can better support my patients through Arhatic Yoga. So allow me to begin with the positive impact on my mental health in the fertility space. So I help couples to become pregnant using both the medical as well as the energetic techniques. And for couples who have been longing to have a baby, it's quite a distressing time. And the longer they wait, they accumulate more fears and worries and doubts. And this is the largest part, the largest energetic block that prevents them from becoming pregnant. And this is also unfortunately poorly understood by the rest of my clinical colleagues. The ones that we are better understood tend to be biological age, delaying in time, financial burden, and also any untreated coexisting medical conditions. So having this understanding of Pranic Healing Arhatic Yoga, it gives me an opportunity to educate the patients to understand not only the difficulties in getting pregnant because of these blocks, but also the poor building block materials because of the lower vibration of fear, of doubt, and anger. So using these energy techniques in pranic healing, I can remove their fears, their worries, their anxiety. So that increases their chances of becoming pregnant, and then applying pranic fertility treatment. So this I do alongside the pharmaceutical. So they get both the pharmaceutical treatment as well as the energy treatment. So this gives me so much happiness to help be part of the couple's journey to bring a baby to life. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, my work does have a negative impact on my mental health too. So unfortunately, in some instances, the woman or the couple choose to terminate the pregnancy for whatever reason. Now, we're not here to debate on the topic of abortion, which I'm sure we can spend many weeks talking about. But what I'm here to share is, yes, it's difficult, definitely, for the woman or the couple going through that process, but little is known about the impact on the provider, on the doctor, and what we have to endure and the impact on our own mental health. So I found the answers in Arhatic Yoga because, yes, we in medical school, we are taught to put our differences, our cultural background aside and support the patient through their journey. But what support do we have for having to be there and put a brave face through whatever decision the patient takes? So here in Arhatic Yoga, Master Choa Sui's teachings, it helped me to understand multiple aspects because my unspoken truth were what is the meaning of life and what is death? What is the soul? I've heard this concept before. I'm not sure I totally understand it. I've heard of the concept of law of cause and effect. So if I have a better understanding of life and death and this journey, I can be in a better position as a doctor to help my patients. So in Arhatic Yoga, one of the first things I learned was to zoom out and look at life through a larger lens. Because we are souls with many different bodies. So we have a body that we talk and move in the physical. We have a body that we used to feel called the feeding or the astral body. And then we have the body that we used to think. So knowing that we are the I am or the soul really helped to put a higher perspective on the situation. Meaning, in another way, it's like as if the soul changes clothes from one incarnation to the next. So this journey of life has many facets of truth and many levels of truth. Here in Arhatic Yoga, Master Choa Sui really gave me the depth of understanding of a concept called free will. So this gave me the opportunity to seek to understand before I was understood what the different aspects of the journey of the soul and why that soul has chosen to take that birth or not complete it. So it gives me the ability to respect the wishes of the patient without judgment. Now, then I also understood through Arhatic Yoga and the regular practices, it gives me that calmness because there's meditation and breath work. There's 5 pillars. It's extremely structured. I didn't have to renounce my family and my career to run away to the mountain to be able to practice it. So to be able to incorporate it every day and support my patients really, really helps. So as we progress through Arhatic Yoga, we develop intuitive skills. I remember once being reached out by an unborn soul asking for help to return to source after the termination of a pregnancy by a couple. So initially I didn't know what to do, but the techniques came intuitively. To this unborn soul, it was as if it was stuck in between floors in an elevator. It's a very trapped kind of feeling. So I was gifted to be able to help this soul reunite with the higher self. So this soul anatomy is described very, very thoroughly in Arhatic Yogas. I've met people who've come from other schools just to learn this. So that has really helped not only help physical patients in front of me, but also the unborn. So truly being a person without limitations to help in the many different areas and dimensions. So I help then these couples through the law of karma, which is the cause and effect, with the education, allowing them to tithe. Master Choa also shares the technique of forgiveness. It's a very important technology through their meditation. And I encourage encourage my patients to learn pranic healing and Arhatic yoga, because this helps them to generate this good karma and help other couples who may be in a similar position of having difficulty having a baby. So they can now help to apply pranic fertility treatment to mitigate some of their negative karma from abortion by helping bringing a soul into life, into incarnation, using the energy techniques a whole lot easier than going through 5 years of medical school to use the pharmaceutical and medical techniques. Whereas with pranic healing techniques, it's much easier to be able to help with pranic fertility. So there you have it. With Arhatic yoga, I have a better understanding and be able to support my patients and their families physically, emotionally, and also the soul's journey and using the law of karma. So that's the true meaning of an integrative medical doctor, a doctor without borders. So thank you. And you'll be hearing throughout from the other speakers and their different professions and how Arhatic yoga has helped them as well. So thank you. Master Marilag, over to you if you have any comments.
Thank you, Dr. Gowri, for sharing your experience as a medical doctor helping people, couples who cannot have babies. That's a very specialized section of medicine. Again, as you said, we can talk about this for weeks. To so many, based on your religious belief, based on what they know, it's so hard. I'm putting myself in that patient that you said, how to abort or not to abort. And thank you for talking about the law of karma. And thank you for talking about in Arhatic yoga, you develop skills, the invisible part. I remember I don't feel anything on the first pranic healing level. I did not feel anything. As you said, you develop skills, your intuition and skills and everything. You become more sensitive. So now I'm more aware and I can put myself in your case where you talk to the soul of the baby. Yes, we are souls occupying this physical body. And the baby too, I realized they were not given a chance to occupy this body. They decided to incarnate, and the parents decided not to have them, fulfill their mission, the soul's mission. That must be tough for the soul. Hey, I thought I'm gonna be born and learn my lessons, and then now they didn't give me a chance. I did not think of that, but I can empathize with the parents and empathize with your decision how to talk to the parents. You have to talk properly so they don't feel the pain, they don't feel the guilt of aborting the babies. Thank you for being the intermediary between the soul of the baby and the parents, so they have a better understanding of what's happening and they don't have the guilt anymore. So thank you for releasing the soul of the baby back to the creator. Thank you for that. So very good speech, very good talk. Okay, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Marilag, and for the commentary as well. So let us invite our second speaker today. We have attorney Jordana Scarpa, more lovingly known as Jordi. She will be sharing with us all the way from Italy, the balancing of advocacy and honesty, an ethical perspective from a lawyer. Welcome, Jordi.
Atma Namaste, good morning, buongiorno, good evening, good afternoon, wherever the sun set. Well, Arhatic yoga prep was for me a big challenge. It was the change of a perspective that I was unconsciously looking for because it gave me the knowledge. And it became a very powerful and useful instrument to preserve my mental health from stress, anxiety, worries, and anger. At the beginning, I was really scared because I'm an attorney, so how could I practice the virtues? In particular, how can I practice honesty, not lying? You know, we take the reality and we use in favor of our clients. Then a colleague, an older student, was very kind. He resumed me with tell me that my energy will change, and so also my clients will change as well. So after more or less 15 years, I can tell you that my life is really improved, and my mental health too. As I said before, I had a lot of knowledge, and that's what I was looking for. On the young aspect, I'm more focused and more detached, and my intuition is increased because of the meditation, in particular Arhatic Dhyana, also all the three meditation, Arhatic Dhyana, the Kundalini meditation, and the soul meditation. Arhatic Yoga also helps me to work faster, and my mind has become very sharp. So I can see things clearly, and I can find a good solution for my clients in a short period of time. So we can avoid going in front of the court. This means for them saving money, energy, and having opportunity of starting a new life. So it's a very positive impact on their mental health. On the inside, I'm more kind, I'm kinder, I'm more patient and tolerant. Also, when I have to listen to some absurd or weird speech, because people, when goes in front of an attorney, they just speak. They just bring their anger, their resentment, because they want me to fight for them, for their revenge. They want justice. So most of the time I have to calm down them. I just tell you my secret. I put Om Shanti or Om Mani Padme Hum in the background, very, very low. So the Om start cleaning the room and the environment. And so I have to, most of the time, I have to explain them that the right way is not looking for revenge, but looking for peace, the inner peace. And we can have peace with the right behavior without using partial truth or manipulating the truth. So we just use the real truth. We present our truth. And I also offer them another perspective, being honest to themselves. I help them to understand that to build, and as a family lawyer, to build and destroy a marriage requires two people, not just one. So I help them to go out from the victim mood. And in this Master Marilag really helped me, not only Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. So taking responsibility and changing the perspective, understanding also the other person, really help people to abandon the revenge mood and understand that there are so many truths, the different level of truth that we study in Arhatic Yoga. And it's okay, it's the right of every person to have their own truth, their perspective, and it's the right of every person to not agree with this truth. So we don't have to impose to nobody the truth. We just have to understand, not agree. And in this practice, the virtues and also the inner reflection really helped me to have this kind of perspective. And this is very good also to find a good compromise and avoid going in front of the court, as I said before. This way of thinking brings peace and allow people who are more developed also to work on forgiveness towards oneself and to others. Because as Master Choco Sui said, forgiveness is therapeutic. So I have realized that it's also an act of self-love. Forgiveness gives us freedom. So my unspoken truth is that Arhatic Yoga helped me to understand the many laws, not only the law of cause and effect, as Gowri said before, the law of attraction, but most of all, the law of karma. And this was very useful to preserve my mental health and my inner peace, because I started developing detachment, trust, and faith. So now when I listen to my client's story, I don't think anymore, oh, this is unfair, we have to fight for justice. But I pause, I observe, I listen carefully, trying to understand what's the lesson that this client has to learn and what kind of debt the person has to pay. So I start to looking for the things to do and the better behavior to suggest them to have to pay their karma debts. Last but not least, twin heart meditation and erratic meditation are very useful for, as I said before, my mental health, because twin heart meditation is a very good tool to bring peace, and I use it to close all my cases rapidly and properly. I always bless my clients, I always bless the other clients, I always bless the judge, the situation, and all my clients, all the people I take for, are always in my blessings. You know that with God's blessings, everything is possible. So what appears impossible or very hard becomes smoother. And I'm a living proof that almost my cases were ended with peace, with a good agreement, and with some lesson that my clients could learn, and also myself. So just to close my speech, worry less, study more, don't panic, do pranic or Arhatic yoga. Thank you.
Thank you, Gowri. That was excellent. So let us hear from Master Marilag.
Oh, Jordy, I wish you live in New York. I would hire you in a second. Okay, that's the kind of lawyer we all need. The lawyer with the heart, okay, with feelings, with fairness, with justice, not out of anger, not out of solar plexus, but out of the heart. Thank you for telling me your secret, though. Now I know your secret. And yeah, that's all the benefits of Arhatic yoga. The virtues, the perception changes. You see from the whole from above, you see the whole. As you said, it takes two. It's not only one is wrong. The other ones both have a share. And I like that you see the whole perspective of and you're not in anger mode anymore. I love that part. Because when you're in anger, you don't think clearly. When the emotions are up, the intelligence is down. So thank you for keeping your emotions more in control. That's the kind of lawyer I really want. I'm gonna hire you. Please move to New York. Okay. And I wish I.
Sorry. Go ahead, Master Marilag.
No. I mean, I want her. I want to hire her, but I also wish I don't have a case to defend myself.
True that. Indeed. Thank you. And thank you very much, Gowri. So let us invite our third speaker today, all the way from the land down under. We have Catherine Carmichael telling us how she undresses stress. So the authentic path to inner mastery in the corporate world. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to share, and namaste. So yes, I'm Catherine. I work in corporate at a major bank here in Australia. So my focus is on driving our customer experience strategy. And you might wonder what that means. Basically, I spend a lot of time trying to make banking easier, faster, and less stressful for our customers, which is ironic because behind the scenes, it can actually be quite difficult, take a lot of time, and cause quite a lot of stress among my colleagues. But banking might not sound inspiring at first glance, but the truth is we all rely on it. It's how we get paid, how we buy homes, how we start businesses. It's how we keep our money safe. And because of that, banking comes with an enormous responsibility. So when I reflect on the work that we do and how it's driving positive impact to our customers' mental health, one area I'm particularly proud to share is how we're tackling abusive banking transactions. So sadly, banking channels are sometimes misused for domestic and family violence, where people send small transactions of like 1 cent with threatening or harassing messages in the reference field. My company has built support teams and processes so we can identify this abuse and protect our vulnerable customers in these situations. These projects remind me that at its best, banking isn't just about money. It's about safeguarding people at their lowest and creating opportunity at their best. And so that's why I stay in this work in banking. But of course, there's a flip side. Corporate life, whether in banking or elsewhere, can take its toll. The deadlines, the endless reporting, the pressure to deliver, to present, to constantly provide updates. The analogy that I use is it's like being asked to run a marathon while people are shouting at you every 5 minutes to sprint faster. And the impact is real. Less sleep, less exercise, long hours, less time spent with family. And the deeper impact? In the past, I used to tie my self-worth to how fast I could deliver or how many emails I replied to. And I realized I was letting my value as a person be defined by my workload, my ability to perform, instead of who I really am. Here's the unspoken truth. From outside, corporate life can look powerful. Big titles, big decisions, big influence. But behind the gloss, many people working in corporate are running on fumes, pretending they have balance, pretending that they're happy, pretending that they're fine. But the truth is, many people are experiencing high levels of stress and just don't feel good enough. I experienced this in the past, and for me it showed up as overwhelm, not knowing how I could sustain the workload and the stress. And it also showed up as imposter syndrome, feeling like at any moment someone would find out I wasn't enough. What changed things for me was Master Choa's teachings, and specifically Arhatic Yoga. So today I'll talk about the impact of the Twin Hearts meditation, which is a loving kindness meditation and one of the key parts of the Arhatic practice. Now let me be clear, the impact wasn't instant for me. The first thing I noticed in meditation was actually how busy my mind was. 1,000 thoughts, all competing for my attention. But over time, something shifted. I learned if I can observe my mind, then I am not my mind. If I can watch my thoughts, then I am not my thoughts. And if I can control my thoughts, then I can control my actions, my reactions, and ultimately my outcomes. That awareness that I am not the body, not the stress, not the emotion, that I am the soul, that's been life-changing. One of the key lessons was meditating on the gap and learning that there is always a gap. And in that gap lies calmness, silence, stillness, and much more. When you experience the gap, even if it's only for a second, you have the power to change your life. Arhatic practice allows you to spend more time in that gap, which translates to you experiencing more inner peace, calmness, happiness, joy, and the higher emotions. When you bring this to the corporate world, it allows you to navigate even really stressful environments without taking on the lower emotions, which enables you to help your colleagues, your customers, and yourself achieve better outcomes. So what this practically looked like for me. At work, this looks like when I get one of those last-minute emails asking for something urgent on top of a dozen deadlines that are already due. In the past, I would spiral into stress, say yes to everything, sacrifice my sleep, my family, my health. But now, I literally feel the stress rising in my emotional body, and I pause. I observe, and I choose how to respond. That tiny shift makes me calmer, and it also makes my response better for the other person. Another thing that's changed is how I relate to people. I used to link my self-worth to pleasing everyone. I'd smile, say yes, work until midnight, and then resent it quietly. But through Twin Hearts, I started practicing something different, sending love and blessings to the people that I struggled with. And it's wild. One colleague in particular, I used to clash with constantly. It felt like we were speaking different languages. But when I decided to stop resisting her and just keep blessing her in meditation, over time, our relationship changed completely. Today, we're actually friends. We have lunch together, we laugh, and the truth is, she didn't change. I did. This is what it means to vibrate at a higher frequency. It's not about being perfect or blissed out all the time. It's about how you choose to show up. In calm, in gratitude, in understanding. And when you do that, the people and the environment around you shift too. The genius of our teacher, Master Choa Koksui, gives you the systems and the practice to get better at it in Arhatic Yoga. The more you practice Arhatic Yoga, the easier and more powerful it becomes. I would encourage you to try it for yourself and make up your own mind. So here's what I want to leave you with. One of my key learnings from Master Choa and Arhatic Yoga is that you can choose to become an observer, and find the space between what happens and how you choose to respond. And in that space is your power. And that has fundamentally changed how I feel, how I react. It's changed my life, knowing it's a choice how I show up. So if you're interested in pranic healing and learning Arhatic Yoga in Australia, the great down under, please check out Pranic Healing Melbourne online to see details. We have our upcoming Arhatic Yoga preparatory course, October 25th and 26th. So if you're in Australia, I would love to see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. That was an amazing share. Let us hear from Master Marilag.
Thank you, Catherine. I love that you practice about prayer. That's so important. Because a lot of people react and sometimes out of anger, they just say whatever they want. So the power force, thank you for that. And also, um, instead of, instead you use the power blessing, if you do the clean house, your heart is open, you have more loving energy. And when you bless your enemies, so-called, as the Dalai Lama says, the sacred friends, instead of berating them or thinking negatively about them or fighting with them, you use the power of twin hearts, which harmonizes the environment, which harmonizes the relationship between you and your so-called friend. Now it's a real friend. Now that you use the power of blessing, you change the energy not only of yourself but also the people around you. That's the power of twin hearts. And thank you for using that gift that Master Choa gave us. Because we have meditation and twin hearts for peace and illumination. So that's why it gives peace to yourself and also gives peace to your work environment. Thank you for sharing us about the stress of in the corporate world. You said big titles, big responsibilities, also big money. All right. That's why people love to be in the corporate world because they earn that much. Yeah, they work, stress so much about making money, but they forgot that this is just a body, that we have the soul, as Gowri said, we have the soul that we have to take care of. We have to also feed the body. We have different bodies, right? The physical, the emotional. The physical, we feed with food, and the emotional, we feed with love, and the mental body with knowledge. That's what we keep learning and developing our mind. By the way, Arhatic Yoga is the yoga for the intelligentsia. So it gives you the certain, wow, we're intelligent. I hope I'm intelligent because I belong to the Arhatic Yoga family. Because it's really the yoga of the mind. We use our mind a lot. As you said, pause and reflect. As say with Gowri in court, instead of fighting with anger, pause and see the whole thing in a bigger perspective, more awareness. As Master Choa said, not awareness, no inner transformation. Awareness is the key. That pause is the awareness. And that's we all learn in Arhatic Yoga, the power of awareness, the power of controlling the thoughts. But anyway, just a short thing. Arhatic Yoga is to develop arhatship. What is arhatship? An arhat is someone who has full control of the physical body, of the emotions and the thoughts. And thank you, Catherine, for sharing that. You're more aware now that you're not the body, you're not these emotions, you're not this stress, you're not all this whatever anger or these emotions that we produce by reacting. And thank you for telling us that you have more peace now, that you have more time for your family because of this higher degree of awareness, what a corporate job can do for you. A lot of people, well, it's just generalization. We love money that feeds the body, that allows us to feed the body, to buy food, to have shelter and everything. Yes, we are protected. But what a lot of people are missing, there's an emptiness. If the soul is not developed, there's no peace. If there's no mental health, it's hard to be happy because peace is the highest form of happiness. If you have peace, you'll be more happy. People with mental health issues is all, as you said, who's that? When you meditate, you have 1,000 monkeys, so many thoughts left and right. So it's a lot of people so bombarded with so many thought forms, as we call thought forms, things that you think, problems at home, problems at work, all these deadlines, all these requirements from the boss. So so you cannot. It's hard to meditate. It's hard to keep peace, to be still. And meditation in twin hearts is really one of the most powerful meditations that we know. Why I know, again, I've done so many different meditations, and meditation twin hearts really for peace and illumination. And having peace is the one that gives you joy. And having peace is the one that will really solve the mental health issue. Because people with so much going in their mind, it's hard to decide. They get so confused. They don't know what to do. They don't even know what their soul is meant to do this lifetime. So thank you for the power of pause, and thank you for sharing how people can manage their stress even in the corporate world. And thank you that you have more time now with your family, with your beloved husband, and more time for yourself. That's important, to take care of yourself as well. Okay, thank you for sharing. Lovely sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, Master Marilag. Thank you, Catherine. What a wonderful share. That's so insightful to learn that even our people around us get upgraded when we practice Arhatic Yoga. So there's multiple benefits. I mean, this is a fantastic modality. So we've heard from 3 speakers so far in many different professions and different corners of the world. So, Master Marilag, can you tell us a little bit more about the founder, Master Chua Kok Sui? Was he also ordinary, like all of us, going through stress? And can you share a little bit what he was like?
Thank you for the question. Is he ordinary? For me, he's super extraordinary. He's human, but if we are here, we are here. He's there. Okay. There are many levels of being a human. That's why we call him our spiritual teacher. He's the one who really has the technology of the soul. Arhatic Yoga is the technology of the soul. We are called Pranic healers. We are healers, right? But a lot of healing modality, they just have the techniques to heal. Different modality has different techniques, right? But I love that we are in Pranic Healing. Why? Because from the basic Pranic Healing, the first class to enter the Pranic Healing family, the first thing that the instructor said, do not believe everything I tell you. Use your discernment. Experiment, and when you actually confront that truth, you validated the truthfulness, and take it. If not, you're free to leave the room now. And then when you think that's still better, or you love it, or we have the truth, come back, we welcome you. So that's what, because I'm very mental person when I entered Pranic Healing, that's why I did not feel anything in my scanning, because I keep on asking, is this the right thing? Is this what? I don't know, maybe it's here, maybe too much question, too much of this. The monkey mind, I understand that. A lot of thoughts came up. I mean, it took a while for me, for the monkey mind to settle down, because my mind is so active all the time, analyzing, maybe it's here, maybe it's there. And then I know my mistake then, that I asked too much question, I analyzed too much. So I learned now to, okay, relax, you'll find it. But it is. So now I can even scan energy. I mean, in Pranic Healing, we scan energy. That's the power of scanning, which I didn't find in any other places that I've been to. This is a way to validate the truthfulness of someone's showing us, telling us, teaching us. Is the truth is always a yes or a no, or whatever you're measuring. So that's the way to validate the teachings in anything. In anything that we do, everything is about scanning. So now I said, I like this school. It doesn't force you to go in. It doesn't force you to stay and lock the door and stay and listen to whatever I tell you. It said, discernment. That shows you have to use the mind. You cannot just be a follower, believer, and not knowing what you're following. So Master Chua is I would say, more than special, because he's a true guru. He has the power of, we're all made up of light, love, and power. The soul as the triangle, the triple aspect. We are a being of light. We are light, intelligence. We're intelligent, right? The light aspect, the intuition that you're talking about is part of intelligence. The concrete mind, the left brain, and the right brain is the intuitive mind. This is where a lot of people need to develop the right brain, the intuitive mind. We have a lot of people are very smart, scholarly. They read a lot of books and everything, but miss the intuition part. As Albert Einstein said, my invention, I did not use my intelligent, my concrete mind, but the intuitive mind. Intuition is very important. And Master Chua has the intuitive faculties, He's a being of divine love, really, the love aspect in Master Choa. I can tell you volumes of books where I witness him living really the proof that he is a being of love. The way he expressed love to the students and never complains about so many people asking for blessings for healing, even at the wee hours of the morning, even during the break time of the classes. Supposed to be a break time. Students that didn't give him time for break. So the break time is always blessing people and everything. Even at the wee hours of the morning, if people call for healing, he would at 2 o'clock in the morning, he would get up and heal the person calling. So the love aspect, the generosity in blessing, generosity in giving money, helping people, so many foundations he built, charitable foundations. And the power aspect, like love and power, is really amazing. The way he heals, I wish we can do that at our level now. Just the power of words. He doesn't have to wave his hand on it. He just said, yes, you are healed. Yes, you are. You have no pain. Yes, da, 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 da. And whatever people say, I have back pain, I have this pain. No more. Just the power of words. That hopefully we can do eventually, okay? That separates us from the teacher. And the intelligence aspect, the light, amazing. If everybody can just look for Master Choa Kok Sui in Amazon, yes, he wrote a lot of books. I forgot how many already, but those books are so, there's no fluff, there's no going around the book. It's just the very essence, the very truth. Truth is there. That's why all of Master Choa's books are highly, we use the scanning, a lot of energy because it always speaks the truth. One time somebody said, there's nothing more I can learn from Master Choa. So I'm moving to another school. And then we told Master Choa, he said, there's nothing more to learn from you. Really? And then he just thought he didn't defend himself. He did not react over there. The next day he said, does he know that what I'm teaching has been taught by the great ones for years and years and years of time? It's like if he's bored already with the truth, with the universal truth, there's nothing much he can do, right? So he can go wherever he wants to go. But I feel bad that people don't see the whole picture, the whole power of what Master Choa can share with us. His books are really the very essence of what he's teaching. A lot of books, just read these books, a lot of your mental body will be really developed. It's not about, I'm not putting down other gurus, but I've been to India. There's a guru there. We're all around. And this is stage. All he did was walk back and forth on the stage. And we were just the heart building up, developing what we call the Bhakti Yoga. It's just looking and loving the guru, and we expand already. That's another form of yoga. In Master Choa, in one weekend, he teaches a lot. Just the truth, you don't have to go, who said that? You don't have to go to the mountains to practice your meditation. He comes to us. Well, everything is past and past, but it's in the past. He came to us in different countries. He traveled all over the world, nonstop, to spread Pranic Healing. So when Pranic Healing was all over the world already, it's more than 100 countries now, or that time. He said, it's time for me to leave. My Dharma is over. Like I fulfilled the mission of my soul. It's done. Okay, so then he left. Okay. He left, not the usual gasping for the last breath. He just did his invocation. We have this private invocation. It's like, I don't know, this last prayer, whatever. And then the soul exited the body. That's it. He did not gasp for breath. He did not suffer. He just exited the body. That's one more thing that we cannot do, right? Hopefully we can do in the future. So that separates him from the students. A real guru. A balanced light, love, and power.
That's excellent, Master Marilag. Yeah, thank you. So no, he's definitely not an ordinary man, but he did have an ordinary life, perhaps when he was in university and Yeah, and then he realized his gifts, and aren't we blessed that it's in more than 130 countries, and yes, he wrote over 21 books, which is available online in the Kindle, etc. So, well, let's hear from our next speaker, who is a professional sportsman. Actually, one of Master Choa's children is also a professional sportsman. Well, maybe next time we'll have Jason. For today, we have the amazing Italian Federico Fuser, who will talk to us about the impact of Arhatic Yoga and his mental health in the life in sport, peak performance, and winning within. Welcome, Federico.
Buongiornissimo to everyone. I'm Federico. I'm a guy from Italy, and I'm here as a sportman. Thanks by my past as a racer, but also thanks by my present as a ski instructor. On my races, I get a great level of results, like third place on the World Cup on Ski Alp, and some UCA point on the World Cycling ranking. So I did a lot in my life. And as a positive mental health impact, for sure, on my past, I stay in the nature a lot of time, so that allowed me to breathe a good air and take the sun, and that allowed me to clean my mind, because thanks by the pure energy on the nature, all my bodies become clean a lot. Also, thanks by moving, I train myself something like I think an average 3-4 hours per day every day of my life. So thanks by moving, all my bodies become cleansed, and my mind as well. And another important thing that I had in my past is focus on the goal. You live to be healthy and to be a good performer. So the only thing that you have to think about is eat well, sleep well, to win. So all my energy, all my focus was on that. And that allowed my mind to be cleansed, thanks, because all the other thoughts, all the other emotion go away. There are also some bad negative impact, for sure. The bad weather. So a lot of people can say, oh, you are so lucky, you are a ski instructor. But trust me, sometimes it's pretty hard. When there's the bad weather, under the rain, it's not beautiful to be a ski instructor. Also, if it's pretty cold, with your hands freezed, it's a hard life. And for sure, my mind is very, very stressed on that, because if I wake up in the morning, I see the weather and I see that it's raining, my mind would like to stay at home, but I have to go to work. I'm also between a lot of stressed people. The people on a start line of a race are stressed, and the people that come in a holiday, especially the first days of holiday, are very stressed. And if you want or you don't want, you can feel it. Trust me. Sometimes, and this is one of the things that unspoken, never unspoken, is the people can't ski because are stressed. They arrive so tense on the slope, and I try to say, get relaxed, but they can't. And in my mind, in my body, I can feel this stress from the people. Another negative impact of my life as a sportsman.
Sorry, it looks like we've temporarily. Oh, are you back, Federico? Maybe it's really cold out there and he's frozen.
I don't know where you lose me. Anyway, I was saying that another negative impact of my life as a sportsman is reach the expectation. of performance. When you work for something and you have to get the results, you are very, very stressed. And another thing very strong is control the body suffering. When you are pushed strong on effort, your body is suffering a lot, and control it by your mind is pretty, pretty hard sometimes. Other thing that I never spoke is, for example, that when I was riding my bike on the races, I was talking to my base chakra. Come on, base chakra, get bigger. Or wake up, Kundalini, now is the moment to boost my legs. And that helped me. That helped me because I put the consciousness on that, and are all teaching from the Arhatic Yoga. Also, sometimes I can't wait to go home when I'm on the slow, but I can tell that to my students, and yeah, I can tell them as well that they are so stressed, and first thing is control your stress. How Arhatic Yoga helped me on that. Change my viewpoint, the attitude. If I want to win, I have to help the other to win. So the competition in my life decrease. So I remember that on my latest races, I was so helpful to my competitor to help them to try to tell them, don't give up, come on, let's go, follow me, let's go. And I think that is a good word because when you understand the real meaning of life, so evolve as a spiritual being, you win in life. You don't win the competition or the race, but by helping the others, you win in life. And I think that thanks by the practice regularly Arhatic Yoga 4 times per week, and yeah, by doing all the meditation that allow my Kundalini energy to wake up, my life changed totally in a better way. For this reason, from the deep of my heart, I really suggest to everyone, join the Arhatic Yoga path.
Thank you, Federico. That was really, really entertaining and a really powerful message. Let's hear from Master Marilag.
First of all, Federico, I have the utmost respect and admiration for what you do. Skiing is not my gift. I did once with my family, my first attempt and last. The first minute I went on, ready with all the attire and everything, cold, of course. I went to the ditch, to the canal. That's where I went, and because my kids were so good, my husband, they were already downhill, and nobody saw me. I wish I had you as an instructor. I fell and the big skis, like I help. Nobody's there to help me. Nobody's there to pull me from the ditch, from the canal. And I don't know how I managed to turn the skis. It's heavy. The skis are big. You know how tiny I am? No, you don't know. We haven't met. Anyway, it took me a while to even get on my toes and go back to the house. I never skied. That's my one and only experience skiing. So I really have highest admiration for you. I wish I had you like Gowri and Jody. I want you here to, well, too late for me to do skiing. But I admire all your techniques. I admire how you handle stress. I admire how you shared how Arhatic Yoga had helped you in your career. That's a very tough career. Cold here in upstate New York. It's cold. I have the jacket. Not even in the snowy mountains. Just normal weather. Okay, you look like you're fit, right?
Yeah.
You don't have enough fat to prevent you from getting cold, but you're able to do that, right? Your muscles, strength. your focus. I love that you have the focus, and you again cannot ski with all this. So the focus is, and your stamina. You know how to get stamina. You're strong. I can tell you're strong with what you do. I congratulate you. I admire you. I respect you. Thank you for sharing what you do. Okay.
Thanks to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you both. That was wonderful. So the next up, we have all the way from South America in Ecuador, a coach and a mentor, Coach Cristobal Aguirre. So, I mean, do coaches actually have difficulty with mental health? Because they're the ones that we turn to when we need help. So let us hear what Cristobal has to share. The silent coach within is her topic, how she weaves clarity, intuition, and discipline in the journey of mentoring. Welcome, Cristobal.
Thank you so much, Gowri, and namaste, Master Marilag, and namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to share with you a little bit about my journey as a coach. And I want to tell Gowri that, yeah, coaches also do have some feelings and some difficulties. So I will share a little bit about this. I'm from Ecuador. I'm a professional coach and a Pranic Healer and Arhatic Yoga practitioner. And today I'm really happy to be sharing with all of you how the Arhatic Yoga practice has helped me to strengthen and preserve my mental health, especially in my career, especially in the coaching profession. A field that, as Gowri said, can look like very glamorous from the outside, right? People tend to think that coaches are always emotionally stable. But the truth is that we as coaches also have doubts, anger, pressure, sadness, and we experience all kinds of emotions. So first, the beautiful thing about this career is that thanks to these tools and practices I have, and the tools and practices from Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga, my mental health today feels much more stable, stronger, and inspired. And I have experienced more clarity, inner peace, especially a deep, deep sense of purpose. And for this, I'm really grateful about. So in my journey, I have found that the pillars of Arhatic Yoga and the virtues of Arhatic Yoga are really powerful tools to support my well-being, my mental well-being. So I will talk about some of these, and I will share with you how I use some of these pillars and virtues for my career. So let me start.
One second, sorry, Cristobal, just a little slower for our interpreters, please.
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
in a different position now, right?
Yeah, I will be
about
slower. Because not only the speech, but the accent too, right? So I will try to be slower and I will try to pronounce the English words better. Because English is not my first language, so it's Spanish. But anyway, so I was going to share about purification. Okay, so purification. It has helped me to keep my energy clean through Twin Hearts meditation and through other energetic hygiene practices. So when I'm in fear or when I'm in doubt, I use my techniques like Twin Hearts to clean these emotions before they build up in my mental body, in my emotional body, and even in my physical body. So purification has protected my mental space. And then studying the books of Master Choa have really given me lots of clarity and intuition in my career. It has given me the inspiration and the motivation to continue. Every time I study Master Choa's books, I receive new direction and I feel much more empowered to move forward without fear. So I want to share a story from some time ago. I had been launching a new program. I was going to be teaching about manifestation. And I was wishing, I hope at least I will have 10 students for this program. But the night before the program was starting, I think I only had 1 or 2 students, right? And I had done everything. I had done the marketing, the Instagram Reels, the Instagram Lives, the email marketing, the follow-up on WhatsApp. So I kind of wanted to give up and I was thinking, it's okay, we'll just start the program with 1 or 2 students. But then I remembered I had been studying one of Master Choa's books. And in this book, which is, I don't remember which it was, because as Gowri said before and Master Marilag mentioned, Master Choa wrote more than 20 books. So now I don't remember which book it was, but I had been reading it, and he actually said that when we are close to reaching our goal, or when we are really close to manifesting this, our bodies will feel tired. We might have this feeling of I'm about to give up. But he said, don't give up, keep going, right? And I don't know why these words, like just from studying, resonated so much in my mind. I kept thinking of these words, like just keep going, just one more email, maybe one more WhatsApp message, maybe just follow up a little bit more, one more Instagram story. And then last minute, 18 students registered for my program, which was starting next morning. I had been wishing for 10, and I even had more than 10. And I always remember how studying gave me this motivation, inspiration, how it was studying that helped me keep moving forward so I can fill my class, right? Just reading Master Choa's books. So it's really amazing how studying has helped me in my career. And then service and tithing. Through generosity, or through the understanding of generosity, I have built a beautiful community that keeps growing every day because I keep nurturing them. I keep giving them free content, leading meditations, leading practices. So this has helped me change my mindset from scarcity to abundance. And it has helped me keep my mindset, has helped me to be mentally balanced. And it has helped me to create a beautiful audience that I can share my knowledge, my wisdom, my guidance with, right? And then I can also offer my programs to them and share my purpose with them. So service and tithing and the understanding of generosity has been really important in this career. And then the devotion to the Supreme Being. So I think having faith is not always easy for me, and maybe for a lot of you too, because there is always fear and there is always doubt. And as my mentor says, Master Marilag Mendoza, fear will always be there if we are expanding, if we are growing. But we have to remember that fear does not have to take the driver's seat, but the passenger seat. So when I remember these words, plus I have devotion to the Supreme Being, and I strengthen my faith, then I think, hey, I'm being guided. What is there to fear? And if I'm actually in fear, then it's okay. I'm still being guided. I'm still trying to strengthen my faith. So devotion to the Supreme Being, I think, has been my number one pillar in my career. All of these practices have deepened my intuition. Sometimes when I'm teaching, I find myself saying things I don't even know where they are coming from. I don't even know where is this knowledge coming from? What's this wisdom? How did I develop this kind of wisdom, right? So I know I'm being guided because I have developed this faith to the Supreme Being, and I'm every day, right, practicing and trying to connect and to have more faith and more devotion. So this is one very important aspect in my career. And so just to summarize, I wanted to return to the title that Gowri was sharing with you about my talk, how I have been able to weave clarity, intuition, and discipline in the path of mentorship. And I can say it's been thanks to my practices of Arhatic Yoga and thanks to the understanding of the pillars and the virtues that we have from our Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui in Arhatic Yoga. And it's not only been for my mental health, but I think it's also been to expand myself into higher levels of awareness, calm, and joy. And I have seen that the mental well-being is not only the absence of stress, but it's actually the presence of light, of purpose, of a deep, deep sense of purpose and of service. So I would like all of you to take Arhatic Yoga. Wherever you are, just contact any of us and we will put you in touch with the instructors in your country so you can find out more about the next Arhatic Yoga courses. Okay, thank you so much, and that my namaste.
Thank you, Coach Christabel. That was wonderful. And yes, let's hear from Master Marilag, who's also Christabel's coach and my coach. And many of us have benefited from the coaching of Master Marilag.
Christabel, I see myself in you.
Oh.
Remember, I have a tendency to speak fast, and now they're the ones telling you to speak slowly. Because she's so used to interpreting my courses in Spanish. I talk da 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 da. So now she got that from me, I believe. I love that you are my mini me. Okay. And I love the progress that you had from day one. I don't know, year one. I don't know when you joined my coaching, but you had improved so much. I love the way you speak. I love the message that you shared. I love the progress from scarcity to abundance and practicing the teachings of Master Choa. Persistence, persistence, persistence. Uh, committed to your class, and you have 18. Did you say 18?
Yeah.
From 1 to 18. If anyone is teaching big classes, learn from what she did. Okay. Never give up. If you schedule something, do it. Okay? Even just one, you do it. But you have the resilience. Mental health, as we said, is about coping this stress. If you're normal, oh my gosh, it's all was to do. What do? I paid for the rental fee. I paid for this. I'm prepared for all these folders, and no one. And then you panic. Right now, you have more. Oh, you use your mind instead of stressing about it. Oh, I remember Master said in this book. So I followed. I did just one more. You said also to your intuition. If you notice, most of this whoever shared, Jordi, Rafi, and Federico, I believe all of them talk about intuition. Gowri also, Dr. Gowri also mentioned about the sense of intuition. Everybody talks about intuition. That's one of the things that Arhatic Yoga develops, the intuitive side, the right brain, the creative side, the connection to God, the way to communicate with God and listen to God's messages is very important in Arhatic Yoga. Thank you for sharing all your tidbits. I'm inspired by your sharings, for everybody sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Master Marilag. And last but not least, we have senior instructor who also had the pleasure to meet Master Choa Sui when he was still in the physical body. We have Dr. Rainer Krell from Spain today. So his topic is farming the mind, the hidden harvest from food, toxins, and parasites. Welcome, Dr. Krell. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, there we go. I had to mute because I'm outside and my neighbor's dogs and the airplanes and everybody's trying to communicate. So I would love to make comments on all of these and respond and integrate all of your comments because they're shared experiences. And I can only say that I've gone through many of those and I can totally feel with you. And I'm glad all of this is coming up this way. But Gowri gave me another task. So I need to talk about something else that's very special and very peculiar in my life. And I wonder whether everyone out there listening is still curious about how Arhatic Yoga can enhance your professional life. Or whether I don't want to repeat, but I think I have a couple more things, and it's inspiration that comes in, like Master Marilag mentioned. It's a major, major role in that, in the intuition that Arhatic Yoga is building. So I'm curious, and I'm on a continuous quest for knowledge. So as a result of that, I became a researcher. I studied and studied and studied and studied and continue to study. Even though retired a long time ago, I'm still researching and studying. And in my case, I chose biology, ecology, communication, and the organization of systems, both natural and man-made, and like businesses and associations. Then the study of Pranic Healing and practicing Arhatic Yoga also perfectly supports the same quest in all aspects of it. It actually enriches it. But little did I know at the beginning of all the effects it had on my life, including saving it more than a couple of times. And getting help from Pranic healers to save my life. It's not just my own doing, and Master Choa as well. So let me give you just 3 quick examples on how Arhatic yoga practices contributed to my mental health in the sense that it advanced my professional and personal life. So for over 20 years, I facilitated agricultural research collaboration for the United Nations, especially in organic agriculture, bioenergy, pollinator conservation. And prior to that, I researched communication between honeybees and flowers, some behavioral efficiency and different ecosystem functions. But after learning Pranic Healing, and that's more than 30 years ago by now, and during meditations of Arhatic yoga, the answer to back then, 10-year-old question came up. From field observations and research with the pollination work of honeybees. And it was around if honeybees can perceive a change in electromagnetic or pranic fields around a plant that is about to open its flowers, they then would know when and where flowers are open, even beyond visual distances. Now, my previous observations on honeybee pollination of certain grasses would start making sense if they can. And I'm now fully convinced they can perceive these changes, though it's still difficult to prove that experimentally. And I would love somebody come up with an idea on how to do that. So, but we know from Pranic Healing and other subtle perceptions and communications that humans can detect similar field changes and energy emissions without limitations in distance. So from there, then it led me to further research in the use of prana in natural and agricultural contexts, and finally the publication of a manual for pranic agriculture, which describes the use of prana to enhance plant production and protection. And not so different from the way we work with human beings. It is addressed especially to those who already know Master Choa Kok Sui's Pranic Healing, but it's useful also to others who don't know yet, and then may be drawn into learning more the specific details that Master Choa has been teaching us. The quality of food that's produced with these methods, the pranic agriculture, turned out different. Not only more abundant, but on average also with a higher vitality. Meaning it was providing our bodies with more than just a basket of chemicals. It would transmit vitality through extra prana, a mix of more energy and beneficial information that would support better health and strength. And rather than draining, blocking, or even intoxicating the body's energy, it would vitalize or revitalize the body and mind, leading to healthier lives, easier progress in the expansion of consciousness, of spiritual growth, also contributing to a more acute mind and calm emotions. And this effect of detoxification or purification, which is also an essential element of Arhatic yoga practices, are greatly aided through these type of foods. Master Choa said it's more important what's coming out of the body than what's going into the body. And that still holds true, obviously, but putting clean food, both physically and mentally, into your body is making a significant contribution to our mental health and to our peace of mind and our calmness and our abilities to meditate and expand our consciousness. So together, the food and Arhatic yoga detoxifies our, or using detoxified lifestyles, or living a detoxified lifestyle, greatly enhances our capacity to thrive in an increasingly contaminated or toxic and stressful physical and social environment, which many of the previous speakers have pointed to as well. So, but I wanted to give you a couple other examples about the impact of the knowledge and the access to knowledge generated by Arhatic yoga practices. How it leads to a different understanding of our world around us. In the specific case here was how viruses and other microorganisms are not only carriers of genetically coded information between different species. Now we build our genetic code through these kind of exchanges, but they also work as informational waste disposers in service to ourselves. This way of picking out disturbing information, be it in emotional or mental form, from the cells and making it available to the immune system to disintegrate is a major role of microorganisms. And that became clear during meditative practices and the opening of intuitive knowledge through certain Arhatic yoga meditations. Another example was that, and some of you have already mentioned that before as well, that Arhatic yoga practices increase sensitivity to non-sensory signals, meaning that information which is not communicated through our normal five senses. As a result, inter- and intra-species communication, listening to myself and others including animals, plants, insects like honeybees and other nature beings, with and without the physical body, and also during healing sessions with humans. This communication has been increasing, and you can call that intuition, or I prefer to distinguish here to specific communication rather than intuition coming in through our own higher consciousness, our soul, or through contact with other beings. Now, right now, I'm exploring these capacities to support environmental protection, enhancing ecosystem services, and create more compassionate, respectful, and understanding relationships with nature and ourselves. So we could also say reconnecting more consciously or mindfully to Mother Earth. For myself, that creates enormous joy, relaxation, recharge, and inspiration. So these are my major benefits from this reconnecting, this closeness. And this is why I've also chosen the background here. You see you see flowers, and you may hear some dogs and some birds in the background. This is what allows me to concentrate and relax. And that's my mental health. But it has been improved dramatically through the awareness. And somebody mentioned it earlier, to the ability to be silent, even in that kind of environment, and to receive and connect better. So I could go on and on and on and on, and mentioning other creative practices and understanding of living systems from a cellular scale, even to that of global climate change. All of that, much of that coming in during Arhatic yoga practices or as a result of practices. And I created much of my growth in understanding in the development of practical techniques to this internal capacity building through Arhatic yoga practices. Of course, a continued study and practical experimentation are also necessary, but these two are part of important Arhatic yoga pillars of practice.
Thank you, Rainer. Thank you. That's amazing.
So I would just say if any one of you are researchers, communicators, farmers, gardeners, cooks, parents, healers, artists, or any kind of professional, or simply a curious person, the practice of Arhatic Yoga will change your life. It will improve your personal and professional performance and creativity. And secondarily, also your health, maybe secondarily in apostrophes, also your health, your longevity, your happiness, your internal and external relationships, also with nature, and most likely your prosperity in all areas. It will bring benefits to all areas of your life. It is not just a mere collection of a few meditations. It's a proven and practical system that will grow with you. So come and join us. You will enjoy it. And you will notice fabulous changes from day one that you learn and practice. I can
Thank
only
you, Dr.
share
Reiner.
that
That's
enthusiasm with you.
that's incredible. Let's hear from Master Marilag.
Thank you for sharing your expertise. This is a very specialized field, Dr. Reiner. It's very important. You know, nowadays, so-called organic are loaded with pesticides and toxicity. That's why a lot of people now suffer from dementia, from Alzheimer's, from cancer because of pollution in the field of eating. So thank you for applying the teachings of energy work in the field of gardening or planting or harvesting. That's a very good thing to eat, blessed by the angels, using energy, using the power of the bees and everything. Thank you for continue doing whatever that is. Very specialized. Actually, everybody here contributed how Pranic Healing, Arhatic Yoga practice could help us with the mental health. Mental health refers to our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we feel, think, and behave. Good mental health isn't just the absence of mental health, but the presence of positive characteristics like resilience, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. If you notice, most of the people who shared emotional well-being, Arhatic Yoga helps us with the emotional well-being. We were able to manage coping with stress and maintaining a positive outlook. Psychologically, we develop self-awareness, as you notice, everybody said that awareness, self-acceptance as a sense of purpose. If you see here, everybody has their own purpose. Everybody comes from different fields and they're able to apply Pranic Healing, Arhatic Yoga teachings into their field of expertise. Everybody, different lawyer, corporate job, mentoring, pranic agriculture, everybody. A Gowri, a doctor, a physician, any walk of life you can apply. You can apply it to your career and be more successful. Mental health is just as important as physical health. When the mind is healthy, the body is healthy. They're all interrelated. So it's about taking care and for your overall well-being. So I invite all of you next year, October 24, 25, in UK, in London, London. Okay, same thing, I don't know. October 24, 25 is for the first time I'm going to teach in London. And it's the most, one of the signature courses in Pranic Healing is called Arhatic Yoga. That's what I'm mentioning that. October 24, 25, I invite all of you, if you want to change your life and improve your life, to evolve your soul, the chakras grow. If you say you evolve, the chakras are big. You cannot say you evolve, your chakras are teeny weeny, okay? Let us grow your chakras so you can be more effective in communication, in intuition, in everything that you have more energy, more power, okay? I invite all of you. Thank you, Dr. Gowri, for creating this. I don't hear you. You're muted.
Oh,
okay.
Apologies. Thank you so much, Master Marilag. Yes, we are looking forward to have Master Marilag teach Arhatic Yoga in the United Kingdom with us next year. So we have we have 1 year to do the Pranic Healing courses and prepare for Arhatic Yoga. So now it brings us to the time to do a short meditation to help our mental health. If you're driving, please turn off the recording now, or you can pull over and listen. But otherwise, over to you, Master Marilag, to guide us into a short meditation.
Still have time, huh? It's 9:33. Over
Yeah,
time.
oh, sorry. Yes, we are a little over time. If for those who could stay, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's close our eyes. Whenever we meditate, we close our eyes. It's more powerful. You can open your eyes, but I don't suggest that. Meditation is about going inward, going within, not looking at the beauty of your home or the garden. Is what we do in Pranic Healing. We close our eyes and still your mind. First, still your body. Be in a comfortable sitting or lying position, and which makes you easier to still your mind. So think of a happy event. Think of good things in life. We will practice the power of gratitude. If we say thank you, we don't look for what's missing in our life. If we say thank you, we're acknowledging the blessings of God that we have been receiving since our birth. But we don't realize that there's so many blessings given to us by for God or the universe. So let's acknowledge that life is so blessed. If we focus on what's the good thing that happened in my life, what are the good things, not only one, and then you're going to be more at peace, more appreciate things, appreciate people who had helped you, acknowledge them, tell them thank you. Simple thank you is good enough. Or you can even say, thank you for being my support. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for loving me, caring for me, whatever the person has done. You can identify what you're thanking for. So let's practice that gratitude thing. Open your heart. When the heart is open, it's easier to feel inner peace. Peace is also in the heart and in the mind. Okay, now I want you to try to recall all throughout your life, all the events that are fruitful, happy, like you achieved something, you're celebrating. Also, the people who had brought you where you are now. I want to start saying thank you. I can guide you, and in case something else I miss, feel free to talk to God on your own. To the Divine God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to the founder of Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga, Grandmaster Choa Kuksuri, to his teacher, Lord Mahavishnu, and all the great teachers, all the spiritual helpers, all the saints, all the archangels, all the holy angels, all the great ones, to our higher soul, to our divine spark. We humbly thank you for all the great blessings that you had given this soul since birth up until today. We humbly, sincerely thank you for all the people you had brought in my lives. But first of all, I want to thank you, dear God, for your presence in our lives, not only in my life, but in our family's lives, in my career, in my health, in all areas of my life. Thank you for being there and guiding me in every step of my journey. Thank you to the beautiful nature that you have provided us to see, to witness, to feel, to be with, to be one with. For the beauty of the sun, the trees, the flowers, the garden, the landscape that we see all around, the ocean, the horizon, the skies, the blue sky. Thank you for blessing us with even with the chirping of the birds, hearing the sound of nature, the waves of the ocean, the water, the rippling of the water, all of this beauty that you have blessed us with. Thank you for the home that protects us, that us roof above our head. Thank you for that. And thank you for the bountiful food on the table. And thank you for our family, for my parents most especially, for taking good care of us since birth and providing for all the comforts, the education. Thank you for all the money that had gone into our lives, from our companies, from the bosses that we work for the workforce that we have, for the business that we have, for the people who had helped us grow this business, for our employees, for assistants. Thank you for our clients, our customers who supported the business, for our students, for everybody who had been there all along, but we forgot to acknowledge them, to appreciate them, to say thank you for your presence in my life. We also say thank you to the people who had tested our patience, our, who had tested, who had activated our solar plexus, people who we had lessons to learn from, that we're able to accept them, understand them, love them, and bless them continuously. Thank you for the gift of blessing. Thank you for the gift of love and forgiveness. Thank you for the gift of self-acceptance and accepting other people as well, with all their flaws, strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures. Thank you for having an open mind to understand all of this, an intelligent and discerning mind. And thank you for blessing us with a loving and generous heart, that we were able to help other people in need who are suffering. As Pranic Healing's Master Chowa's purpose in spreading Pranic Healing is to alleviate human suffering. And we are here to serve, to help. Thank you for giving us all the tools to be able to help as many people as possible, to impact a lot of people's lives. Thank you for that gift of Pranic Healing, the gift of energy, understanding energy. We thank you for all these gifts and more. Thank you for a chosen career that we love doing, that gives us the motivation, the inspiration, and the connection to God, or higher power. Thank you for all these great blessings. In full faith, we thank you so, so, so much. With deep gratitude, respect, and deepest love, we thank you. Open your eyes.
Thank you, Master Marilag, and all our speakers today. Sorry, we have run over time. But thank you everybody for all your time and tuning in. And this will be available on YouTube as well. So you don't have to do it once a year on World Mental Health Day. You can always go back and listen to the wonderful meditation guided by Master Marilag. So thank you, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you all. Atma Namaste to everybody. Okay. Thank you, wonderful speakers. You opened my mind to other stuff. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and have a good evening, good afternoon, and good day, or good night.